After the great flood, people continued to multiply on the earth. All the nations had one language and a common speech. Together, they learned how to make bricks and construct buildings to form a city. Wanting to make a name for themselves, they decided to build a tower, one that would reach the heavens.
With my eyes to the sky, how can I deny you? You're stronger than the weight of the world, raised high for all to see. Deep in my heart, you've placed a vision to build your empire, but my heart's desire is to build it for me. I'm gonna take, I'm gonna make, I'm gonna bend, I'm gonna break with your power. It will be grand, it will be tall, it's gonna shine, it will not fall, it will be mine. 'Cause I've got bad intentions, I'm full of bad intentions, just trying to hide my bad intentions. I've got bad intentions, full of bad intentions. I got bad intentions.
The Lord came down and saw the tower the people were building. He realized that with a single language, man could accomplish anything. As a result, he scattered man throughout the world, which ceased the building of the tower. The city was called Babel, because the Lord confused the language of the people.
I built a tower, raised it up higher, then you came crashing, tumbling down on me. I felt your presence, weighing so heavy. My heart couldn't take it. So I surrendered. I'm all yours now. Face to the ground. I'm all yours now. Won't turn around.
Many years after the fall of Babel, the people began to worship false gods. The Lord sought a man through which he could build a nation that would put their trust back in him. His name was Abram, and this is his story. While in the land of Ur, Abram married. Though he dreamed of having children, his wife Sarai was unable to conceive. As the years passed, one of Abram's brothers fell ill and passed away, leaving behind a son named Lot. Abram and Sarai watched over their nephew and cared for him as one of their own.
Lot, now that your father is gone, stay with Sarai and I. We love you as our own. We are leaving to the land of Canaan, where we could start a new life. Will you come with us?
So they left the land of Ur and set out for a new home, with his father Terah leading the way. While on their way, they came to Haran. Abram and his family settled in Haran, where the people there worshipped many false gods and performed pagan rituals. Years went by and Abram's family remained in Haran. Though he acquired much livestock and wealth, his family never made it to the land they had set out for. While there, his father who had led the journey passed away.
I was obedient and followed my father here. And now that he's gone, I don't know who to follow. I'm cursed daily and mocked by all those who see me. For though I have been blessed with so much, I have no heir to share it with, no family to call my own, no place I can call home. Please, if there is a God out there, will you speak to me?
Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak 'cause I am found, I am yours, I am loved, I'm made pure, I have life, I can breathe, I am healed, I am free. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true.
Abram, leave your country, your family, your relatives, and your father's family, and go to the land that I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you and make you famous, and you will be a blessing to others. I will bless those who bless you, and curse those who curse you. All the families on earth will be blessed through you.
For the first time, the Lord spoke to Abram, and he obeyed. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, his servants, and all his livestock, and headed for a new land that God would show him.
Oh my Lord, it's a winding road. It's all bent from a heavy load. Feel the weight beneath the ground. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Oh my Lord, I can barely sing, waiting for you and your reckoning. Angels humming, can you hear the sound? Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. I will rise, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise. Troubles come for everyone. Death has no respect for love. Oh, that's all I won't be found. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Feel the weight beneath the ground. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. I will rise, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise. Troubles come for everyone. Death has no respect for love. Oh, that's all I won't be found. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down.
Once they arrived in Canaan, Abram and his family looked for a place to settle. They traveled through the land and came to a place beside the oak of Moreh, a place already inhabited by the Canaanites. It was here that the Lord revealed himself to Abram.
Kinder
Abram, this is the land I will give to your children and to your children's children.
Abram built an altar and dedicated it to the Lord who had appeared to him. He continued to travel south, setting up altars and calling upon his name. While in Canaan, a severe famine struck the land, forcing Abram to go down to Egypt and live as a foreigner. As he approached the border of Egypt, he told his wife to tell the Egyptians that she was really his sister. He feared that the Egyptians would kill him because his wife was so beautiful. So Sarai did just as Abraham said. As soon as Abram arrived in Egypt, everyone noticed Sarai's beauty. She was taken into the palace, and Pharaoh gave Abraham many gifts because of her: servants, sheep, goats, cattle, and camels. But the Lord sent terrible plagues upon Pharaoh and his household because of her.
What have you done to me? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say, she is my sister, and let me take her for my wife? Take her and go.
Pharaoh sent Abram, his wife, and his nephew, and all their possessions out of the country. They left Egypt and traveled north toward Bethel. They pitched their tents where they had camped before. Lot had also become very wealthy by this time, with flocks of sheep and herds of cattle of his own. Ultimately, the land could not support both Abram and Lot with all their flocks and herds living so close together. As a result, disputes broke out between the herdsmen.
Don't let this conflict come between us or our herdsmen. We're family after all. The whole countryside is open to you. You can take any choice of land you want, and we will separate. If you want the land to the left, then I'll go to the right. But if you prefer the land to the right, I will go to the left.
Look at these beautiful water lands of the land of the Jordan Valley. They're well watered like the beautiful lands of the Lord of Egypt. I'll take the land to the east. Good luck, Uncle. Hope nothing comes between us.
Lot took his flocks and servants and parted company with Abram. He moved his tents to a place near Sodom, but the people there were extremely wicked and constantly sinning against the Lord. Once Lot parted from Abram, the Lord spoke to him.
Abram, look as far as you can see in every direction, north and south, east and west. I am giving all this land as far as you can see to you and your descendants forever. And I will give you so many descendants that like the dust of the earth they cannot be counted. Go and walk through the land, for I am giving it to you.
So Abram moved his camp to Hebron and settled near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. There he built another altar to the Lord. A short time later, war broke out in the region. The city where Abram's nephew Lot had settled was overtaken. But one of Lot's men escaped and reported everything to Abram.
Taking everything. Food, possessions, all our men and women, and they have your nephew, Lot.
We have 318 men trained for battle. We'll attack tonight when they least expect it. Get the troops ready.
Abram recovered everything that had been taken. He brought back his nephew Lot with all his possessions and all the women and other captives. Abram was blessed by the king of Salem and the king of Sodom. Then the Lord came to him in a vision.
Do not be afraid, Abram, for I will protect you, and your reward will be great.
O sovereign Lord, what good are all these blessings when I don't have a son? You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my heir.
No, your servant will not be your heir, but a son who is your own flesh and blood will be your heir. Come, look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. So shall your offspring be. I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land, to take possession of it.
Sovereign Lord, how can I know that I will gain possession of it?
Know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation your descendants will come back here, for the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its full measure.
The Lord made a covenant with Abram that day to give his descendants the land he was in. Abram believed the Lord, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Time came and went after the Lord made that covenant with Abram, and Abram's wife was still unable to have children. They began to wonder if the promise the Lord made would ever come true.
His time has come and gone. Is that what they say when I walk by? I've got a little more gray, my steps are slow and long, and the promise you've made fades in the moonlight. I see a star, you see the Milky Way. I see one man counting sand, but you see generations. Who but you would ever choose to dream your dream in me? Tell me who but you would dare me to believe what I can see. Who but you?
Oh, you'd think by now it wouldn't bother me. The hush from the crowd when I walk by, anything somehow
Despite her belief, Sarai allowed her fear to take over. She came up with a plan, and Abram listened.
Abram, it's been 10 long years since the Lord gave you the promise to have a son of your own flesh and blood. The Lord has kept me from having children. Lay with my slave, Hagar. Perhaps I can build a family through her.
Sarai gave her Egyptian servant Hagar to Abram to be his wife, and Hagar conceived a son. When Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. So Sarai mistreated her.
How could you do this to me? I am with child.
How dare you talk to me like that?
The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness and said to her, Hagar, where are you going?
I'm running away from my mistress, Sarai.
Come out of sadness from wherever you've been. Come broken-hearted, let rescue begin. Come find your mercy, oh sinner, come kneel. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burden. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are. There's hope for the hopeless and all those who've strayed. Come sit at the table, come taste the grace. There's rest for the weary, rest that endures. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't cure. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. Lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are, come as you are, fall in his arms, come as you are. There's joy for the morning, oh sinner, be still. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are. Come as you are. Come as you are. Come as you are.
The angel of the Lord told Hagar to go back to her mistress and submit to her, for her descendants would increase so much that they would be too numerous to count. He told her to name the child that she was pregnant with Ishmael, which means God hears, for the Lord heard her misery. But the hand of Ishmael would be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, and he would live in hostility toward all his brothers. Hagar returned home just as the angel told her. Sometime later, she gave Abram a son, and Abram gave him the name Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Years passed after Ishmael was born, and Sarai was still unable to bear Abram any children. They continued to wander in the desert, longing for the fulfillment of all the Lord had promised.
I'm longing, longing for a place I cannot find, a place no one has told me, a land of a fairer kind. You have kept your promise to me. I have all a man could want, yet I stare into the distance. I ache and still I long. I'm surrounded by my Canaan. Laughter echoes loud. I've loved and lived and followed, built altars and I've bowed. I'm longing for a place I cannot find, a place no one has told me, a land of a fairer kind. I'm longing, longing for a place I cannot find, a place no one has told me, a land of a fairer kind. I yearn to hear your voice again, to feel your presence near. You showed me there is so much more, so much more than left me longing here. A place no one has told me, a land of fairer kind. A place no one has told me, a land of a fairer kind.
Abram, I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. Serve me faithfully and live a blameless life. I will make a covenant with you by which I will guarantee to give you countless descendants. As for me, this is my covenant with you. I will make you the father of a multitude of nations. I am changing your name. It will no longer be Abram. Instead, you will be called Abraham, for you will be the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful. Your descendants will become many nations, and kings will be among them. I will confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you from generation to generation. This is the everlasting covenant. I will always be your God, and the God of your descendants after you, and I will give the entire land of Canaan where you now live as a foreigner to you and your descendants. It will be their possession forever, and I will be their God. Your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all your descendants will have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. All your household must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking the covenant. Regarding Sarai, your wife, her name will no longer be Sarai. From now on, her name will be Sarah, and I will bless her and give you a son from her. I will bless you richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will be among your descendants.
How can I become a father at the age of 100? How can Sarah have a baby when she is 90 years old? May Ishmael live under your special blessing.
No, Sarah, your wife, will give birth to a son for you. You will name him Isaac, and I will confirm my covenant with him and his descendants as an everlasting covenant. As for Ishmael, I will bless him also, just as you have asked. I will make him extremely fruitful and multiply his descendants. He will become the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will be confirmed with Isaac, who will be born to you and Sarah about this time next year.
When God finished speaking, he left Abraham. On that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and every male in his household and followed the Lord's instructions for circumcision. It would be a sign of the covenant between God and Abraham and the generations to come.
Be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory, be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory, be lifted high, be lifted high. Be lifted high, for your glory, be lifted high, be lifted high, be lifted high, for your glory, be lifted high. You're the king of all the ages. You're the king of all the ages. You're the author of salvation. You're the reason why we're singing for your glory. Lord, release the sound of heaven. Let it rise in every nation. We will join the anthem singing. Be lifted
Sometime later, Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent near the oak grove. He looked up and noticed 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he ran to meet them and welcomed them.
My lord, if it please you, come rest under the shade of this tree while water is brought to wash your feet. Let me get some food to refresh you before you continue your journey.
All right. Do as you have said.
Sarah, hurry. Get 3 cups of your best flour and knead it into dough and make some bread.
Where is Sarah, your wife?
She is in the tent.
I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son.
How can an old woman like me enjoy such pleasures? Especially when my husband is so old.
Why did your wife laugh? Why did she say, "Can an old woman like me have a baby"? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son.
I did not laugh.
Yes, you did.
I need you to soften my heart, to break me apart, and I need you to open my eyes, to see that you're shaping my life, and all I am, I surrender. Give me faith to trust what you say, that you're good and your love is great. I'm broken inside, I give you my life. I need you, God, to soften my heart, to break me apart, and I need you to pierce through the dark and cleanse every part of me. And all I am, God, I surrender. I may be weak, but your spirit's strong in me. My flesh may fail, my God, you never will. I may be weak, but your spirit's strong in me. My flesh may fail, my God, you never will. I may be weak, but your spirit's strong in me. My flesh may fail, my God, you never will. Give me faith, God, to trust what you say, that you're good and your love is great. I'm broken inside, I give you my life.
The men got up from their meal and looked out toward Sodom. As they left, Abraham went with them and sent them on their way.
Should I hide my plan from Abraham? He will certainly become a great nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed through him. I singled him out so that he could direct his sons and their families to keep my ways by doing what is right and just. I am ready to do for Abraham all that I have promised. I have heard a great outcry from Sodom and Gomorrah because their sin is so flagrant. I'm going down to see if their actions are as wicked as I have heard. If not, I want to know.
Would you destroy the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous in the city. Would you destroy it for their sake? Surely you wouldn't do such a thing, destroying the righteous with the wicked.
If I find 50 righteous people living there, I will spare the entire city for their sake.
What if there are 45 righteous? Would you destroy it?
I will not destroy it if I find 45 righteous people living there.
What about 40?
For the sake of 40, I would not destroy it.
What if there were 30 or 20 or even 10?
I will not destroy it for the sake of 10.
That evening the two angels arrived at the city gate of Sodom, where Lot was sitting. He stood up to meet them and welcomed them.
Please come into the house of your servant, stay the night, so you may wash your feet and rise again the next day.
No, we will stay the night in the street.
Please, I beg you.
The angels followed Lot into his house. He prepared a feast for them, and they ate. But before they retired for the night, all the men of Sodom, young and old, came from all over the city and surrounded the house.
Lot, where are the men you kept last night? Bring them out to us.
Please do not do such a wicked thing. Look, I have 2 virgin daughters. Please let me get them for you. But please do not harm these men. These men are under my protection.
Stand back. Hurry! You must take anyone who's here with you, your wife, and your 2 daughters, and anyone else. Get out right now, for we are about to destroy this place.
When Lot hesitated, the angel seized his hand and the hands of his wife and 2 daughters and rushed them out of the city, for the Lord was merciful.
Run for your lives, and do not stop or look back, or you will be destroyed.
Here comes the fire. Lilo, fire. Oi, Noele. Lilo, Lilo. Fala. Here comes the fire. Fire. Oi, Noele. Lilo. Yeah. Here comes the fire. Fire. Here comes the fire. Yeah. So hola. Here comes the fire. 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 So hola. Lilo. Oi, muele. Lilo. Oi, muele. Lilo. Oi, muele. Lilo. Oi, muele. So hola. Here comes the fire. Fire. Yeah. Oi, muele. Here comes the fire. Fire. Yeah. So hola.
The Lord rained down fire and burning sulfur from the sky on Sodom and Gomorrah, and wiped out all the people and every bit of vegetation. God listened to Abraham's request and kept Lot safe, removing him and his family from disaster. But his wife looked back, though she was commanded not to, and turned into a pillar of salt. Some time later, Abraham moved south until he came to Gerar. While there as a foreigner, he introduced his wife Sarah as his sister again. So King Abimelech of Gerar sent for Sarah and took her as his wife. That night, God came to Abimelech in a dream.
Abimelech, you will be a dead man if you take this woman as your wife, for she is already married.
What? No, Lord! Would you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, "She is my sister"? And did she not also say, "He is my brother"? I have done these things with a clear conscience and clean hands. Oh, please have mercy. Have mercy. Please, Lord. Please.
I know you are innocent. That's why I kept you from sinning against me, and why I did not let you touch her. Now return the woman to her husband, and he will pray for you, for he is a prophet. Then you will live. But if you don't return her to him, you can be sure that you and all your people will die.
Abimelech got up early in the morning and had his servants bring Abraham to him.
Bring Abraham to me. Abraham, what have you done to me? What wrong have I done to you that made you bring such a great sin upon me and my nation? You have done to me that which should not have been done. What made you do such a thing?
I thought there was no fear of God in this place. I thought I'd be killed because of her. And it is true, she is my sister. She is my father's daughter, but not my mother's. And she is my wife.
All right then. You, and you, and you, quickly gather the west herd and take silver, and you and all these things now belong to this man. These are my gifts to you. My land is in front of you. Make your home any place you want. I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. It is to repay you for all that has been done. Your honor is made right in the eyes of all men.
Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and all his female servants, so they could have children. The Lord was gracious to Sarah, as he had said, and did for her what he promised. A year later she became pregnant, and gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age. This happened exactly at the time God said it would, and Abraham named their son Isaac.
God has given me laughter. All who hear of this will laugh with me. Thank you, Father. Abba.
Oh, I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, and I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Because you are perfect in all of your ways. Oh, you're perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Oh, it's love so undeniable. I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable. I can hardly think as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love. Love, love. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're good. You are perfect in all of your ways. It's who you
Isaac grew up, and Abraham prepared a huge feast to celebrate the occasion.
Abram, did you see that slave woman's son making fun of my son? You need to get rid of her and her son. He is not going to share in the inheritance with my son. I won't have it.
My Lord, Ishmael is my son too. Lord, please.
Do not be upset over the boy and your servant. Do whatever Sarah tells you, for Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted. But I will also make a nation of the descendants of Hagar's son, because he is your son too.
Abraham rose early the next morning. He took bread and a container of water and strapped them on Hagar's shoulders. He gave her the boy and sent her away. Hagar wandered aimlessly in the wilderness of Beersheba with her son. When the water was gone, she put Ishmael in the shade of a bush. Then she went away and sat down by herself.
Water! Ima! I need water!
I don't want to watch the boy die.
Hagar, what's wrong? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Go to him and comfort him." For I will make a great nation from his descendants. God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave her son a drink. And God was with him as he grew up in the wilderness. He became a skillful archer, and he settled in the wilderness of Paran. Sometime later, God tested Abraham's faith.
Abram,
Yes, Lord.
take your son, your only son, yes, Isaac, you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go and sacrifice him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I will show you.
My son Isaac? But Lord,
Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart, Lord. Speak what is true.
make a sacrifice to the Lord today.
Yes, Abba.
Where's the lamb for the burnt offering?
The Lord will provide, son. The Lord will provide.
I am found, I am yours, I am loved, I'm made pure, I have life, I can breathe, I am healed, I am free, 'cause you are strong, you are sure, you are life, you endure, you are good, always true, you are light, breaking through,
Yes.
Don't lay a hand on the boy. Do not hurt him in any way, for now I know that you truly fear God. You have not withheld from me even your son, your only son.
And Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. So he took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering in place of his son.
This is what the Lord says. Because you have obeyed me, and have not withheld even your son, your only son, I will swear by my own name that I will certainly bless you. I will multiply your descendants beyond number, like the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will conquer the cities of their enemies, and through your descendants all the nations of the earth will be blessed, all because you have obeyed me.
The Lord provided for Abraham that day, and Abraham named the place Yahweh Yireh, which means the Lord will provide. He returned to his home in Beersheba with Isaac, where they continued to live. And so, through Abraham, a nation was born.
Never moving like a mountain, never ending like the sea, like a sunrise, bringing blue skies. Your light is all around me. Though I'm prone to leave your side, you chase me like the tide. You are constant in my wandering. You are brighter than the dark in me. You are the love that sets me free. You are faithful. You are faithful. You are. Ever waiting for the weary, ever wanting them to see. There's ransom, there's forgiveness. Your hope is all around me. Though I'm prone to leave your side, you draw me like the tide. You are constant in my wandering. You are brighter than the dark in me. You are the love that sets me free. You are faithful. You are faithful. You are never leaving or Oh my Lord, it's a winding road. It's all bent from a heavy load. Feel the weight beneath the ground. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Oh my Lord, I can barely sing, waiting for you when you're echoing. Angels humming, can you hear the sound? Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. I will rise, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise. Troubles come for everyone. Death has no respect for love. Roll that stone, I won't be found. Ain't no grave gonna hold me down. Lord, I'm crooked from head to toe. Got dirty hands and a dirty soul.